When I was in college, I met some guys that were powerlifters, and that intrigued me. So I kind of picked it up, and then when I got out of college, I pursued it. So during my weightlifting career, I was very fortunate. I was able to go out to California, and I trained with some of the guys that I grew up admiring in the muscle building magazines, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Frank Zane, Dave Draper, Harold Poole, and learned a lot from them. And through my career, I was a bench press champion, powerlifting champion, and I had everything that I wanted. I had a successful clothing company. I was in equipment manufacturing. I was making personal appearances, endorsement contracts. I had more money than I had ever imagined making. But the only problem was cocaine was probably the drug of choice for the people that could afford it. And I would go out and spend $100 on a weekend and have a good time, didn't think anything about it. That went on for a few months. Then it went from $100 a weekend to $200 a weekend, and eventually it rose to a $500 a day habit. And during that time, my whole world just came crashing in on me. My life was surrounded by cocaine. And I remember one night I got locked up on a DUI, and I was sitting in Marietta City Jail. And that's when everything the light came on that my life was pretty much over. I finally got out of jail, and a friend of mine called me up. And I haven't talked to this guy probably in 7, 8 years. And how he got my phone number, I have no idea. But he called me up, and he was talking to me, and all of a sudden he goes, "Look, the reason I called you, I want to invite you to church." Well, right off the bat, I came up with some flimsy excuse and came up, I can't come, I got something going on. And I hung the phone up, and my hand hadn't left that receiver 2 seconds, and something came over and said, "You need to call him back." So I called him back, and I said, "Yeah, I'll go to church with you." We get to the church, all of a sudden it's like a 1,000-pound elephant just lifted off my shoulders. And I walked in, and the preacher was preaching, and at the end of the service, they gave an invitation. And before the invitation, my feet were just jumping up and down. And I remember I got out of that chair so fast, I almost pulled a hamstring. And on May the 15th of 1988, that's when I gave my life to Christ. I knew I was a new man. And May the 15th of 1988, that was the greatest day of my life. About 4 years ago, I was getting out of the car. My hip was killing me. As the day went on, my hip started hurting more and more. And it was like 3 or 4 weeks later, the pain came and it never left. But finally, it got to the point, these past 2 years, it got where I couldn't walk. My pain was so severe that I couldn't even leave my house. I couldn't even go to work anymore. I couldn't function. So then I looked into Social Security, disability, Medicaid, Medicare. I tried everything. And I got turned down 7 times. And through all the pain that I was going through at the time, my faith was there that he was going to see me through this.
I've known Steve for over 10 years. He's a guy who has been involved in training both of my sons, and he and I become pretty good friends over the last several years. About 4 years ago, however, I noticed that he was having some problems with his hip. And I just thought to myself, we've got to do something about this. And so last summer, we just said, we've got to engage this. And so I remember grabbing our elders and just saying, guys, we're in the middle of this what-if experiment, and we need to engage this story. I know we can't do this for everyone, but I remember hearing Andy Stanley say years ago, do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. And to me, Steve was that one guy that we needed to help. And so through a connection that we had with Wellstar Hospital, Paulding Hospital, and quite honestly, the generosity of Westridge Church, we were able to make this happen for Steve. Steve's walking around today with a brand new hip. And I cannot tell you how excited I am that we had an opportunity to play a part in this amazing story.
I've been so blessed to be part of Westridge Church. Westridge Church is the hands and the feet and the love of Jesus. I know that firsthand. They have been amazing, and I could never be in a better place than Westridge Church.